was Sailor Moon. My best friend Ray was Sailor. She was doesn't seem to be working. I'm gonna have to see about that. Oh no. Okay, give me 2 seconds, you guys. Jupiter is your favorite movie, Trav. Yeah. I have the Sailor Moon CD somewhere. I used to love how they would infuse music, like Rainy Day Man, I think was in this in the episode when Sailor Moon meets Sailor Jupiter. The Sailor movie was so good. Yeah, so back in the day, growing up, I had the internet before all of my friends. So even though we only got, let's say, like season 1, right, where, oh, hi, Amityville, welcome. Oh, good, it's working, you guys. I just had to be patient. Oh, good, good, good. Yay, all right, I needed to check. I might have glitched out my live stream from before. Maybe that was the issue. Okay, my friends, welcome to Monday. I'm going to officially begin this live stream. I'm with my natural hair today, you guys. Praise Ostara. Praise the goddesses for getting my hair back, because I spent a lot of my time, my youth, dyeing my hair. For a long time, I was obsessed with having red hair. So when I was about 14 or 15, shortly after I entered high school, I dyed my hair like bright fire engine red. And then I had to dye it back to brown because I went to an all-girls Catholic high school, and they're like, that hair color is not found in nature. I'm like, who's to say? Who's to say? So I'm now half cosplaying. My Wolfie is actually at my feet right now listening to this. So I have my notes with me, you guys. So this is my Neurolinguistic Astrology Salon show. I am broadcasting live to you to give you the cosmic weather every Monday. I was aiming to do this earlier in the day, but then realized that, like, you know, I'm a Taurus, and I also spend really like late nights up with you guys. So that's not really realistic right now, right? So think of this like an after school special, right? Like YTV, like a little bit of like a later show. You know how Gargoyles, or what were the other shows? Reboot. I used to love YTV and PJ Freshfill. So I never dry my hair. I won't get back to my jet black hair color. Oh, beautiful, beautiful Gwen Stacy. I've dyed my hair many, many colors. I had a bad Jerry curl incident back in the day. Oh, the perms are hard in your hair. So I'll tell you, I have dyed my hair many, many different colors. And so it's funny, back when I used to model a lot more with my hubby, when we would book shoots, some of the people who would book it be like, oh, which girl do you want in your project? And my hubby be like, oh, they're all her. They're like, what? She looks completely different. I'm like, oh, yeah. So I used to just put my hair through a lot of damage, and I became obsessed after my wedding in 2015, when I had on the beach, I had like jet black extensions. Shout out to my extension girl, Joyce. I still love you, girl. She calls me her queen. I'm like, Joyce, stop. I have a story about my extensions in just a second, but these are not extensions. This is my hair. This is like the last remnants of like the bleaching of when I used to be platinum blonde. When I used to work at the hospital, actually, I was obsessed with having like silver white blonde hair, and I got it, right, at the cost of everything. And I used to work with this beautiful silver fox doctor in endocrinology, and he's like, Rachel, am I like hip, right? Because I have like silver hair. I'm like, yeah, of course, like I love silver hair on like, a handsome man, like even Doctor Strange having that silver little streak. It's like it's a sign of wisdom, right? It's like Gandalf when he goes from Gandalf the Gray to Gandalf the White. It's like this purification of like, oh, I now know too much, and now I'm going white, right? So, if I was nursing's in my, I'm half Filipino, right? So Filipino, there's a lot of nurses in that. I'm glad hair is healthy now, for sure. This IC channel used to play Sailor Moon too. Yes, my hair ran away. What happened to your hair, Pokey? You know what though? I know very many people who I love them looking bald. So I like shaved head is like a thing for me. Um, Including my hubby. He's like got a really close shed. I decided to go bald. Nice. Gwen Stacy. I so love Sonic X on the for kids TV as a kid. I love Sonic too, you guys. I decided to go bald. Yes, make that choice, right? What was I doing here? Oh, oops. Okay. Let me continue onward. Things are looking good. I am live on both YouTube and TikTok with you guys. And so welcome to the live show. This is going to be my little astro show. So I have some notes to keep me focused because I tend to go off on a tangent. But I want to give you guys some navigation tools as it comes to what's going on in reality right now. Just because, we have the news telling us like what's going on, and you have like, I'm sure your sources of information as to like what's going on in life. But I have always loved storytelling, myths, the stars. And so I now have become, I think, proficient at having my own lens. No, I mean, right? It's so hard for me to focus, even in like video gaming, where like my hubby will go off ahead and like keep on going to the mission. I'm like, where am I? What's going on? What's this? Okay, so today is November 10th, 2025. Hello, Earthlings. The sun is in Scorpio, the moon is in Leo, which means there's a fixed sign square. So whenever you have two luminaries, represents aspects of challenge, right? Places where there's tension. You wouldn't have stories if you didn't have a little bit of tension, right? If you were just in like a, you dreamlike land where like nothing went wrong, like there'd be no journey, there'd be no reason to like ever exit the Shire, right? Marine Corps birthday 250. Wow. How old is this place right now? Oh, Mama Rachel. Yeah, that's right. I'm Mama Moon right now. And it's funny, right? Because my D&D character, I play D&D on Thursdays, and I'm hopefully going to be streaming that live with you guys this Thursday. And I named my character, who's a moon elf, after Mayari, who is the moon goddess in Filipino lore, right? So before the Philippines was conquered by the Spaniards, they had a whole pantheon of gods and goddesses, and there's a lot of similarities between like the trinity of the goddess of the dawn, the goddess of the moon, and then a sun god, right? So even in like Game of Thrones, they kind of have that trinity as well with Aegon and his two sister wives. There's like this idea of that on that higher level. Yeah, I love being so Moon Elf is in Forgotten Realms. Forgotten Realms is a like a sub-world within Dungeons and Dragons. It has the whole same mechanics behind it. I love it. Baldur's Gate 3 follows it. A lot of video games do take a lot from the video game mechanics of D&D, which just came from like a couple of guys wanting to live out a story, right? So turning storytelling into a game, right? One of my companions on my session was saying that like D&D is really like collaborative storytelling, and I'm like, that's true, right? Because you throw your character out there and you put them in these scenarios, and it's like Skyrim's beautiful. My dungeon master likes to use a lot of the Skyrim music in our background when we're playing. Yes, Mama Usagi. And Usagi means rabbit. I'm not sure if it means white rabbit, but there is a myth that white rabbits are said to live on the moon. We're going to talk a little bit about moon. Hold on, let me make sure I have Tinkerbell here too as well. Let's see here. Looks like I'm frozen there. Hopefully it's still going. All right. Continuing onward, we have this idea of Black Moon Lilith and what was it? Black Moon Lilith and Venus are both in Scorpio. I have this like written down here in my little notes. Black Moon Lilith, Venus is Aphrodite, right? We have those glyphs. And they're both in Scorpio, which is freaking intense, right? Because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, deals with things like death, rebirth, all that kind of stuff. So Black Moon Lilith, let's talk about Black Moon Lilith for a bit. So you guys, like, Black Lady in Sailor Moon. It's kind of an awkward thing, right? Because Chibiusa, which is Usagi's daughter with Mamoru. So Darien and Serena have a child who's like Sailor Chibi Moon, and she becomes corrupted and like becomes older and becomes Black Lady, right? And so she's got like the moon that's upside down, and then she starts to try to seduce Darien, which is kind of weird because like that's your daughter, but just like in a different timeline, and it's like a weird thing. But you know what? If you think about a lot of mythologies, you have these weird, like almost like incestual relationships because it's okay. Yes, ew, gross, but we're also brothers and sisters of Earth, right? But like, it's like a weird thing of trying to explain that, like, being part of like a family on an energetic level as opposed to in this like 3D meat suit body. It's a different thing, I think. And we should not confuse the two when we're trying to talk about things symbolically and in archetypes. Let's see here. Have I heard of Winx Club? No, I have not, Gwen Stacy. I will look that up. And hi, Levete Pepsi. Thank you. Have a great night and have a great week as well. Who is a Capricorn and Sailor Moon? I would say that that's Sailor Uranus. If we were to break down the different, I actually have a few videos. I need to put them all together where I use Sailor Moon as a way to understand astrology because it's pretty much on point in terms of the symbology, like the glyphs on each of the girls' heads, as well as each of their powers. They are pretty much lined up with the way astrology works from an elemental level, as well as like even their personalities. Like for example, Sailor Moon is a Cancer, right? And Cancer is ruled by the moon. Also, Cancers are very emotional, and this is why like the moon, like Sailor Moon in that story, she's the one who wakes up all the other girls. So let's do a little bit of Sailor Moon mythology for just a second. So way back when, in the Silver Millennium, Sailor Moon's mother, Queen Serenity, I love Queen Serenity so much. I have a cosplay of her. I vibe so much with those like fairy godmother energies. I almost like when I was little, I couldn't wait to like grow up so I could be like a mama hen kind of thing. It's like, oh, it's a weird thing, right? But anyways, where was I going with this? Saying I was being focused with everything. Anyways, I was gonna go back to Black Moon Lilith. I'm always going to go on a tangent anyways. But oh yes, the Silver Millennium. I want to tell you guys about the reincarnation aspect of Sailor Moon because that part is important. Yes, so back in the Silver Millennium, Queen Serenity, she gets attacked by the Negavers, Queen Beryl and her ilk, right? And usually it's because there's like a jealousy behind the Prince of Earth, who's Darien, right? Or Mamoru. And this heralds itself back to a myth of the moon goddess Selene, right? So Selene is the moon goddess who falls in love with a shepherd named Endymion. I hope I'm saying that right. Endymion. And he's supposed to be the sleeping shepherd that Selene visits every night and she's like enamored with, but like for some reason can't be with him, so she just sleeps with him every night. So there's some echoes of that, this idea of a lunar goddess falling in love with a shepherd or someone who is a very gentle soul, a man, right? I talked to you guys before about elementals, about how elemental, like fairies and mermaids, they love seeking out mortal men because through that connection, their offspring and themselves were able to gain an immortal soul. And who doesn't want that, right? Okay, so when we're talking Black Moon Lilith, Chibiusa becomes corrupted, becomes Black Lady. I feel that placement, like that character type, that archetype, that is Black Moon Lilith in all of us. And you can see here, this is Black Moon Lilith's sign. So Black Moon Lilith is the dark side of the moon. It represents where we have shame, where we feel jealous, where we feel unloved. And ultimately, for Chibiusa to come back from being corrupted in Black Lady, she has to realize that she is loved because she's lashing out, being like, no one loves me. That's why she's trying to seduce her dad, I think realizing that that's her father, and just essentially trying to wreak havoc in other people's lives so that no one has love if she doesn't have love, but not realizing that in spite of all the terrible things that she may have done, that you're still deserving of love, and we have to be okay with accepting it. Also, personal note here when it comes to Black Moon Lilith, and any of you guys with Black Moon Lilith and really challenging aspects. I have Black Moon Lilith on my rising, so I'm an Aries rising, and I have Black Moon Lilith right on my rising. So your rising sign, your ascendant sign, is kind of like the mask that you are playing this reality game with, right? So this, you go on stage, so your persona. So it's interesting for me being an Aries rising and a Taurus sun, because it's almost like the sun sign is less of your personality and more about what your soul mission is in life. So mermaids, are you sure you don't mean sirens, Pokey? Because what about the Little Mermaid? And what about the good nymphs? Each of these elementals is like, some sirens are good and some sirens are bad. If you're reading Odysseus and oh my gosh, the Odyssey, yes, the siren song beckons you into like the depths and they like take you. So be aware of that. But that's all about just deducing when you're going out at sea, right? There are friendly mermaids out there. Trust me, I have been one of them. I love mermaids a lot. King Triton is actually supposed to be a mermaid and the son of Neptune. And Neptune exists in the cosmology. I have a sun trine Neptune, so even though, I'm a Taurus, I have a lot of aspects that lend myself to Pisces nature. So, us getting lost in like a dream, or like when I'm trying to learn choreography, which I was writing about, and I'm like, okay, I'm picking this up. And then I'm like, often like, oh, that looks cool. And then I come back, I'm like, oh no, 8 counts have gone by. Oh no. Especially in hip hop, when you're trying to learn a lot of like intricacies of hip hop. I've had to learn how to like just focus and stuff. I have Sun Pisces and Moon Sag. How do you find that, Waki? Because Pisces is a very, I find like you're probably a dreamer too, Waki. I'm very idealistic. I love my Pisces friends, but as with all signs that I think have water or more dissolved boundaries in their personalities, it can be hard to ground yourself in like consensus time space. So this is like more about the astro, like your navigational tools. Like think of astronaut in Latin means star sailor. So when you think of Sailor Moon, it's this idea of being we're sailing the waters of the firmament, right? The sky, the waters above and below, because there's this idea that way back in ancient times, before time, water was not the density that it was, right? And it was like a lighter, because you think about the different states, like solid, liquid, and gas. Solid is not truly solid. All the molecules are just really like compacted close together. It's how you can walk through walls like Kitty Pryde, because this idea of like moving through the molecules and stuff like that. What is Neptune is Aquarius? I look it up for me. So Neptune rules Pisces. So if a thing to kind of look up as well, your sun sign. So I'm a Taurus, that's ruled by Venus. If you're a Pisces, you're ruled by Neptune. But you know what? Pisces is all about the dream state. So Venus loves Pisces very much, right? So speaking of Venus, we have both Black Moon Lilith and Venus in the sign of Scorpio. So it's like we have 2 goddesses in the same domain. So I'm reminded of like I played, there was a D&D session I had, was it last week? So I'm a moon goddess, and so all moon elves venerate the goddess of the moon, Solun. Okay, so I have a moon touch short sword. I love moon elves. But I found myself in a party, of course, and this is why I love D&D, is that you have like a dwarf. I have like another elf who's also like another like elf, but not a moon elf. We ended up in this temple to Bathsheba, who's like the goddess of misfortune. And so it was like, we ended up winning this battle. But I was saying like, oh, it's like a battle of goddesses, like Saloon versus Bathsheba, right? And Saloon won in that instance. But then one of my people on my party ended up with the armor of like misfortune. So, does the moon at night make more powerful in D&D? So Movie Tribe, good question. So there's this idea. So I've leveled up in my D&D, so I've become a rogue soul sword, which is like a psychic kind of like martial artist. And so I've kind of like integrated that with the moon, so that's kind of fun. So anyways, going back to my astro for what's happening in the stars right now, we have the moon in Leo right now. So to all of you out there who also have the moon in Leo, you're going to find yourself activated. I also find that whenever you have, I love, like I myself do not actually have any placements in Leo, but I like Leo a lot. I don't know why. Something in their character type is so not like me that like when I've learned how to do performance art or to like dance, because when you dance and when you're dancing on stage, it's different than dancing in your room. You actually have to like make facials. You can't like be looking at the ground and there's more to it than that. And so learning how to do all that has come through like me also like observing other people who exhibit characteristics that I would want to exhibit. And so I've had to transmute my own placement of Black Moon Lilith because my younger self used to get quite jealous of these girls, right? Oh, hi, Bella. Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. Happy Moon Day Monday, my friends. Welcome to the Neurolinguistic Astrology Salon. I'm going to actually